Well, Andrew Asamoah is a senior researcher with the Institute of Security Studies, and we have him live on the line now from Pretoria. Good afternoon, Andrew, and welcome to the PM News Desk.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Andrew, how critical is it for South Sudan's warring elites to begin to feel the consequences of their actions in order to secure a more lasting, more durable peace there?
No, as you rightly indicated, at the moment it's really important and critical that, they are made to feel the heat of where the country is going, because at the moment, the way forward depends on them. If the two leaders agree for peace, then certainly we will see a return to normalcy and the restoration of South Sudan, of peace in South Sudan. And therefore, it's important in that sense.
Andrew, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa really proving himself to be an effective, even vociferous peace mediator on the continent, like we saw him do in Lesotho. But he's really entering a political quagmire now, one in which IGAD negotiations have so far failed to yield an agreement. What are the challenges to peace in South Sudan right now?
You're right. The situation is quite troublesome, but his role so far has been more at facilitating intra-party dialogue. So that is virtually at the party level. And so even though there's some challenges at the national level where IGAD is mediating, his role plays a complementary role in that sense. But we've seen that his President Kikwete is playing that role now. But as you indicated, the key challenge now in South Sudan has to do with mistrust between the two leaders. But beyond that, their inability to agree on what formula a transitional government is going to take, as much as what role the two principals are going to be playing. That appears to be the most important hurdle now on the table. But going forward, if the support from various actors, including South Africa, is able to put pressure on the two leaders to commit to honoring documents they sign, agreements they both agree on, then we can make some important steps forward.
Andrew, are we on the brink now of a conflict that looks poised to take on a more regional dimension? I mean, both Sudanese rebel forces and Uganda troops have been actively fighting in South Sudan. How worried should we be?
No, I think that is the trouble now, because the more time is wasted without solving the situation, the more complex, regional alliances and even domestic alliances between different warring parties become. And there are indications that there are regional interests at many levels at the national level. But as well, there are also armed groups in the region who have interest in what happened. And so I think time is of essence in this particular case.
The United States and the European Union have issued limited sanctions against military commanders on both sides, Andrew. Now, although UN Chief Ban Ki-moon has pushed for more punitive measures, shall we say, against those obstructing peace, the Security Council has yet to act. Is it just that the international community is not grasping the magnitude of this crisis?
Actually, the international community is fairly aware of the situation on the ground, both at the level of the humanitarian consequences, the risk that South Sudan as a country will become perpetually unviable, and also now the subsequent risk that the country may end up in a famine. So they are very much aware. But I think that the complexities of the crisis itself makes it more difficult, and the regional dimensions. And the fact that, everything you put on the table has more intricate interpretations on both sides. The hurdles the international community will have to scale to make progress are quite daunting. And so some efforts are being made, but it's more difficult, particularly because we've not had so much commitment coming from the two principals negotiating the peace process to commit to anything that is pushed through at the negotiation table. Without their commitment, there's very little international efforts can do. Because at the end of the day, peace in South Sudan can only come about from the efforts of South Sudanese.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew Asamoah is a senior researcher with the Institute of Security Studies.